We've got Team LeBron on one side, Team Giannis on the other, and enough star power in between to light up the Eastern Seaboard. What's not to love about NBA All-Star Weekend? Hello and welcome to Fox Sports Lab NBA. I'm your host, Ben Dixon, and as always, my NBA expert and the man who's up and about for this weekend, Jaymz Clements. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Ben. I'm like Carlos Boozer rolling into Salt Lake City. I'm ready for anything. This is going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. Coming up, Carlos Boozer takes us inside the All-Star Weekend in Utah. We get high and mighty about the dunking contest. And of course, we'll have a crack at picking all the winners. He was an NBA All-Star in 2007 and 2008, and he played pretty much all of his career in Utah. So there's no better man on the planet to talk about this All-Star Weekend. Welcome back to the show, Carlos Boozer.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Carlos, great to have you on the show. I mentioned you're the man in the know. Give us the insider's account into this weekend and this event. And I want to know the best club to go to and what it's like to play with a hangover.
Got you. It's a lot of fun, man. Obviously, it's an honor to be selected to the All-Star game. There's so many great players in the NBA, so when you get selected, it's a huge accomplishment on your career. I remember when I got selected, it was the first year in Vegas. It's the only year that in Vegas that they ever had the All-Star game. So it was pretty cool. Me and Yao Ming and Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan and Kobe and these guys, you get a chance to play amongst your peers. And also you get a chance to play against some of the guys that you also look up to. So great atmosphere.
What does the game actually mean to them in terms of winning it? Or is it just a bit of a lark?
Yeah, I think at first it's kind of like a flow. Everybody's trying to see, what they can do. You get out there, you want to get your first bucket, whether it's a jump shot or a dunk or maybe get some free throws. The game really gets serious in the fourth quarter. The first three quarters is kind of everybody's throwing lobs and alley-oops. You'll see Steph and Dame shooting from half court. Maybe Luka huck some up from half court as well. But come the fourth quarter, everybody starts to take it a little bit serious. So usually comes down to the wire in the fourth quarter.
All right, Carlos, you've been here before, so there's no defence. We know that. It's an All-Star Weekend, so that goes out the window. Chasing points, but how does it play out? Take us inside.
Like the fans are screaming your name. You're playing alongside some of the greatest players of all time. Like I remember my first year, I'm playing alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant and Dirk Nowitzki and all these great legends that I looked up to my entire career. And now they're my peers. And so that you have that moment where you just kind of look around like, yeah, like I'm here. You know what I mean? You have one of those kind of moments. And then the ball gets thrown up and then, you start playing ball. And I remember Allen Iverson went right by me and I'm like, oh, he's taking it serious. I gotta get serious too. So there's that moment in the game where it goes from lollygagging and fun and games to being serious and you see guys starting to compete. So it gets fun.
Well, that list of players I'd be stargazed at as well. Love it hearing those memories, Carlos. Stay right where you are. We'll preview all the All-Star Weekend contests next.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
As we know, the All-Star Weekend is like basketball's version of the Olympics, faster, higher, longer, especially when it comes to the undercard events. James, I'm going to go to you first. The dunking competition. There's no real standout, so is this a chance for the no-names to put themselves in lights?
I mean, you're right there, Dicko. There's no obvious winner this time because we don't have too many giant names. But what we do have is a wildly talented group. You don't have the massive light names up in lights, but you do have the types of like Mac McClung, 6'2", looks like a shop teacher. He's out there teaching woodwork and dunking on the weekend. You love to see that. But then there's Jericho Sims, the big man from the Knicks. I love Jericho Sims in this comp. He's got a 44.5-inch standing vertical. That's a lot. It's a lot. The dude can get up there. You've also got Kenyon Martin Jr., Trey Murphy, a couple of good swingmen there in the NBA with plenty of dunking pedigree. The big problem is, without any sort of name recognition, it's pretty hard to pick it, but I've got to go with Jericho Sims. I think the big man's going to put on a massive show. I think we come down to basically maybe him versus Mac McClung in the final.
All right, Jericho Sims for James. Carlos, who's your pick in the dunking competition?
I'm going with the pedigree of Kenyon Martin, and I'm picking his son, Kenyon Martin Jr. I watched Houston a little bit this year. He's got a lot of bodies. He's been dunking on people left and right, always pulling up on a highlight reel. He's lefty too, so he's got a lot of bounce. I'm going with Kenyon Martin Jr.
All right, I'm going to stick with you here, Carlos. What's the secret to winning the three-point event, and who are you expecting as a standout shooter?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't much of a three-point shooter in my day, so I can't speak from his personal experience. But I will say I really like Dame Dollar, man. I think he's one of those guys that has the poise, obviously the confidence to knock down shots from half court. I think that the main thing for him is going to be to knock down his first couple shots. Once you get the first couple to go in, the confidence builds. He goes from rack to rack. I got Dame Dollar taking it home.
Well, he's undersold himself, Carlos. You showed me his highlights, and there was 3 points. It was raining 3 points in his highlight reel. But, James, who's your pick for the three-point comp?
I think Carlos might win the mid-range jumper comp. That's where I'd land with him.
I appreciate that.
I love Buddy Hield in this one, though, Carlos. He's averaging the highest three-point percentage out of this field. I think we have a final between Buddy Hield, Kevin Huerter, and the Ginger Ninja, Kevin Huerter. I'm just saying, got to look after my own here. And I reckon probably I'm going to stick with Carlos with Dame Lillard. I think Dame's just got that sort of, he's got the speed, he's got the accuracy, he's not being defended. He's going to be laughing. The dude hit 8 threes and a half the other day, so you can't really go past him.
The Ginger Ninja, look after your own. All right, now, James, how do you assess the skills challenge? Because we've got agility, short pass, long pass, like the combine.
It's crazy, the skills challenge. It's really hard to pick as well because you do have the home team, you've got Team Utah, you've got Team Antetokounmpo, where it's Giannis, two-time MVP, and his two brothers just hanging out and, riding those coattails. You love that. But then there's Team Rookie. I love this Team Rookie, Dicko. You've got the top couple of picks. You've got Jabari Smith, you've got Paolo Banchero, you've got Jaden Ivey. It's a lot of pedigree, but I think what it all comes down to is balance. I like the Utah team, but I really like this rookie team because they can do everything. They've got speed, they've got size, they've got shooting. I like Team Rookie. It's hard to pick, though, because you've got that sort of weird sort of setup of like the passing, the obstacle course, the shooting at the end. I'm going to go with Team Rookie.
All right, that's a look at the sideshows. Next up, the main event.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
We've talked about all the fun stuff, but it's time now to drill down on who wins. James, Giannis is 0-4 against Team LeBron with the new schoolyard picks. Now, this is an interesting format because if you ever picked last at school, which I was, it's an embarrassing one, but it's a different format this year, so tell us about it.
I love this because you do have your starters and you've basically got then your bench. So you've got to pick from your group of starters. You've got Team LeBron on one side, Team Giannis on the other. We're lining them up, we're picking them. I love this setup, Dicko. But it does make it really difficult because it is about putting on your GM hat and making the best team you can and going, right, who do I pick? I've got to pick my friends. I've got to pick the guys who can win the game. And maybe, I don't know, we might share an agent, who knows, we might be teammates. If you got Giannis, you got to go after Jrue Holiday, don't you? It's all that sort of stuff. I love this. It's such a great setup. I think Giannis can probably turn it around. I trust Giannis, just his sort of positional variability versus LeBron at this stage of his career. I think Giannis will have a bit of a chip on his shoulder, maybe a bit of tzatziki with it as well. He's Greek, don't forget about that. And away you go. I love Team Giannis in this. I think he'll pick the better team.
All right, James is tipping against the run here. Carlos, who are you tipping to win?
I got Team LeBron. I think it's his year. He just got done passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the scoring title. He's done a great job in previous All-Star picks. He's done a good job of getting the scores, mixed in with some good defensive guys and some team guys. Like, imagine a team that's got LeBron and possibly, Luka and possibly Kevin Durant if he plays, and just, oh my God. He does a phenomenal job of picking a good team that's going to win the game. I got Team LeBron in this one. I think he's going to bring it home.
And Carlos, all the eyeballs are on this game this weekend. So do you expect there'll be one or two players with a point to prove on the big stage?
Yeah, I got Jason Tatum. I got him circled as my guy with a point to prove. I think, early on, he was an early short list guy for the MVP. Now he's kind of gotten forgotten about a little bit, even though Boston still sits atop of the Eastern Conference. And he's having a phenomenal year. I think he uses this All-Star game in Salt Lake City to let everybody know that he's the best player in the NBA.
James, does this point us in the right direction? I know you've been big on your MVP, Joel Embiid, throughout with the tipping early 17-1, but does it give us some direction on the MVP, this?
It really does, because I think, as Carlos said, if you've got a point to prove, and if you really, really want this, you're going to make a big statement. I love Joel Embiid as the MVP here. Also, Luka. Luka's sitting there in Dallas going, now I've got Kyrie. Don't Don't forget about me for the actual NBA MVP. He'll put on a show on the All-Star. He and Joel, probably my 2 picks for it. I'd probably go with Joel.
All right, now, Carlos, I mentioned there's no D in this at all, so the final scoreline, are we expecting a high-scoring match? What do you expect it to be in a close finish?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the first 3 quarters are going to be like, do whatever you want to do. Go dunk the ball, go shoot from half court. We'll probably see some guys knocking shots down from half court. But then the game gets kind of serious in the fourth quarter, especially with the last 6 minutes to go. I got a high-scoring game, close affair. Team LeBron pulls it out.
All right, Carlos, appreciate your time. There you have it, All-Star Preview Weekend. We're looking forward to this one. We really appreciate your time once again.
Absolutely, guys. Looking forward to it.
All right, James, as always, I know you get excited each weekend, but you are up and about. Thanks very much for your time.
No problem. I'm going to say 170, 160. Love the points over for the All-Star. Always the over.
Well, you're always the over, and you've been hot as a pistol, so I'm going with you. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe below and follow us on socials, and we'll see you next week.